You know, a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, we used to do these shows so often that we decided to take a break from them because emotionally, the team was like, Andile, we can't cope. But people's stories need to be told. The inspiration behind them needs to be told. But we emotionally needed a break from them. Today we go back to it. It's a Thursday, and we throw it back to a time when a 12-year-old Lucas Sithole, you know him and love him now as the most accomplished tennis player in South African history. And that's what he is. He's the most accomplished tennis player in South African history. He's won the US Open. He's won the Australian Open. He's been, to the Wimbledon final in the doubles. That's the man we're talking to. But you do know that he sits on a wheelchair. Lucas doesn't have both his legs and one arm. What happened? How did it get there? And in 2019, once again, he was dealt another blow when he was told, the sport that you love so much, let's put a pause on it. You can't play it anymore for a while. It's a conversation that looks to motivate you, to say there are people with way less than what you started with, but look at where they are. Look at what they've had to overcome. That's the conversation we're going to be having. We're going to be talking to him live all the way out in Portugal, where he is right now, competing once again in the sport that he loves. But what's happened on this journey? It's a Throwback Thursday, and your favorite show of the week for most of you on this mighty Metro FM. And on Throwback Thursday, we look back to sporting moments. One moment that changed history as we know it. One moment that moved Mhlengi from being a triathlete to a Paralympian that he is today. One moment that changed the two brothers who were marathon runners who decided, hey man, let's not run this as brothers, but let's run it as one person, the Comrades Marathon, and try cheat the system. We'll look back at stories untold. Tonight's story will leave you emotionally charged up and maybe even, needing to hug someone. You might need to have a tissue next to you, because every time I've heard the story, I've thought to myself, can I take this to radio? He was 12 years old when the unthinkable happened. Today, he is the most successful tennis player of all time. South African. No one has done what he's done, but it's what he's had to overcome. Because today we're going to go back to his first major. 2013, he won the US Open title. Babus Tole, Lucas, joins us from Portugal and want to tell his story. Lucas?
Yeah, boy.
Hey, there you are. There's a bit of a delay. I hope it's not going to be too much of an issue when we do get in on our conversation. How are you?
Ngathi mfethu njani nina ngapha eMzansi?
Hayi cha siyapusha silibe sibamba siyeka. Lucas Tole, ladies and gentlemen, joining us, born on the 30th of September 1986, a South African wheelchair tennis player who plays in the quad division of the sport. Tole is also the 2013 US Open wheelchair tennis quad champion. He also won the 2016 Australian Open Grand Slam in doubles, partnering up with David Wagner. He now joins us today all the way. Was that Portugal, ne?
Yebo mfethu ngisePortugal eVila Moura.
What are you doing in Portugal?
I'm here representing South Africa in the World Cup team championship.
I mean, Lucas, when you think about this, when 2013 happened and you won that US Open, that officially, before even Australia happened, it made you the most successful South African tennis player in any division, in any format, and whether it's quads or it's able-bodied, it made you the most successful. Do you ever sit and think about that?
Yeah, sometimes kuyafika nje emqondweni. But ke sothini kusemhlabeni izinto zashintsha.
And it's been that for you, huh? Isn't it zamba shincha? You've had that sort of a roller coaster ride in your career and in your life.
Yes, definitely. Ngize ngithi mhlambe amadlozi ami ngiwahlabeli enough.
Listen, Lucas, man, we're trying to use your story because that's what athletes are. That's what people that are in front of people on a daily, that are used as mirrors when people watch society. We try and use those stories to encourage somebody ohlele endlini onayo yonke into ekuhlula mina nawe kodwa ocabanga ukuthi hey impilo inzima ongenalutho ocabanga ukuthi ngeke aphumelele. We use our own stories to inspire those people, and today we've chosen your story, and I'm looking forward to you sharing some things that many people who see you have never even heard from you. What kind of home did you grow up in? Ukhule ekhaya lenjani kuphi?
I grew up in a little town called Danhauser.
Yakwazi Danhauser.
With living with two sisters and myself, and I'm a second born, living with my mom.
And of course, when you were growing up, like every other boy, you were born with both your legs, you were born with both your arms, you were running around. What kind of sports were you playing at the time?
At the time, I was playing soccer. And school in living with Uru.
Hi, bo, defender.
Yeah, but we need 5 more.
And then, I mean, those dreams of being a soccer player, obviously, at some point, came to a halt. When you were 12 years old, I believe it is. What happened?
When I was 12 years old, in fact, I had a life changing. I got a train accident at Danhauser on the 25th of July, 1998. So and it was around like 10ish in the morning.
Usuke endlini ngabo 10 usuke endlini uyaphi uhamba nabo bani? How does this happen? Talk me through that day.
Okay, it was a Saturday morning actually, yeah. And then I was coming back from the shops where my mom sent me for milk, so mango, and then the train driver asked me to bring him something. So I went there. It's not like the proper chain. It's similar. It's like Shaban. No, not a social load. It's a small train which moves goods from companies when they are loaded. Cargoes are there. Yes, it's those small ones. So then ngahamba Kaya, and then I came back to this train driver, and then I gave him what he wanted, and then he asked me to change to open the railway line to change the direction for the train. So I jumped down and I changed it, and then as I was coming back in, the train was moving slowly. Then I fell underneath. Then I lost my both legs and my right arm just above the elbow.
Lucas, had you ever changed a train direction before? Had you ever been down there? Is this something that you had done before?
No, it was my first time. It was my first time.
And the train driver was what, a friend, a family friend, an uncle?
No. It was just a driver, just a guy we know, from that area.
And you're 12 years old. He says, jump down there and help me to change an entire train direction, moving rails.
Yes, that's what he asked me to do.
When you think back on that day, and I'm sure there's not a day that goes by that you don't think about it. When you think of that day, because, I'm hearing this fully from your mouth for the first time. When you think about it and you think back to it, what comes to mind?
It's kunzima. Kwesinye isikhathi ngicabanga mhlambe ngabe ngingomunye like wabantu yabo. Isikhathi mhlambe inkosi yikho lokho ingibekele khona yabo. So ngavele ngamukela. But nje nezingane zami like sometimes ziyabuza baba inyawo zashonaphi. Then like I have to like explain. And then sometimes to ukuthi izingifikisela inyembezi yabo bangicabanga lo bubuhlungu enganye kibo lesikhathi ngibuka umama ekhala because I'm the only son akanayo. So yonke leyo nto nje mangabe ibuye emqondweni wami yabo ingizwisa lobuhlungu lokanye ngikwazi ukuchaza ukuthi mhlambe ngachaza kanjani.
I can imagine. I don't think amagama ngesiZulu nangesingesi akhona ukuchaza into enjalo. So the incident happens, and obviously you're rushed to hospital, and we thank the Almighty. We thank Him, we thank her for your life. You come out of that, you realize now life is going to be different for you. When that realization dawns on you, I can imagine also, you need to be now not just physically strong as the number 5 furu, but you need to be mentally strong now.
Yes. Like on my first day, like I didn't see anything because they said I passed out. Then I only saw on the next day that okay, they have cut off my legs, and then the doctor, he came to me and he explained to me that now you don't have legs and blah blah, those explanations for the doctor. And then I got discharged because I had like 1 month in our provincial hospital, and then Umawam was by all means because it was during the year which is called to continue with my education. So what all is called section 5 special school is for people, it's for the kids who live with their disability. So I went there. On my first day, I was struggling to push a chair because now I only have left hand. I lost my right hand.
Were you right-handed?
Right-handed.
Oh man.
Yes, I was right-handed. Yeah, I was right-handed. So there, that's when everything came clear, because I was being into the way the saba mean like put my pants in him like a car. But then as soon as I was around those other kids who were living, so it changed all my mindset. Which I'm not alone and I mustn't be ashamed for who I look like how I look, or what I must just live my life, But then the biggest challenge I ever had was to brush my teeth with my left
hand. So the biggest challenge was to relearn to brush your teeth.
Yes, it was just to brush my teeth with my left hand because it's not used to, doing all that stuff. So it was all shaking up and, I have to hold it steady and like it.
Ubrasha nekhala kunjalo. So tell me about now, because you have to relearn life. You have to relearn how to brush your teeth. You have to now, your left hand has to be your predominant hand now. What is the process like to now relearn this and uNkulunkulu uthi uyayazi ayayenzayo ngoba nale la kwa left ilona elwina ama championship. What was the process of now learning to use your left?
I think for me it was all be like I accepted myself, firstly, and then I tried by all means to not give up to whatever I was doing, even though the challenges at that time were bigger than me. But then at school, we had like a physio, like where they help us to try and do stuff like physically. So I still thank those people because they helped me a lot. Because now I had to learn to write my name on my left hand. And like it was difficult, it was challenging because I was trying every day, like even after school, like when the other kids are going to play football or whatever, I was trying to write something clear, and then it happened. Then I couldn't think to there, but slowly.
Wow. Listen, we're gonna get into the story because that's where it begins. But from there, it goes to being a world beater. So, from a former soccer player, you had dreams of being a Lucas Radebe, playing defensive. When do you start sport again? Because now you're learning difficult things that used to be easy, brushing your teeth, how to move and maneuver, how to write your name all over again. When do you fall back in love with sport?
It all started 2000, yes, 2000. When I first tried to play wheelchair basketball, you know. So the physio who looks after us at the school at that time, she said, "No, Lucas, you can't play basketball because you don't have balance. Because of my stumps, the emblem is too short. I don't have the balance. I can fall easily in front, like ngawangobuso." So I told her, "No, I can play." She said, "No, you can't play." I said, "No, I can play. Just give me a chance." And then she gave me a chance. Then I proved her wrong because I was selected to go and play for the under 23 at Nedbank Championship at Durban at that time. So that's where it was started with basketball, and also with a little bit of wheelchair racing, but I was too much more on the basketball in 2000.
So did you fall on your face?
No, never.
So you're really good at basketball then?
Yes, I was very good at basketball because I was also selected to play for South Africa for under 23, and then also for the national team, like the big boys.
Hey, Lucas Sithole, a man that's had to overcome tragedy in order to get to where he is right now. But it kept on piling, it kept on coming, and we'll get through those challenges because listen to that, the positivity of a young boy, 12 years old, who finds himself on the tracks, leaving his legs behind, leaving his one arm behind. Today I speak to him all the way out in Portugal. If you've just missed it, when he was 12 years old, an elderly gentleman that they knew from around the Downhauser said to him, "Please assist me and get me something from the shops." Upon returning to give him whatever it is that he had asked for, he asked him, "Hey, listen, man, I need to stop moving the train. Please jump on the tracks and change direction." And I think it's that huge thing that you chant almost, and then it moves the train tracks from one area to the other so that the direction changes. And he got stuck there. Train started moving, and he's had to have both his legs and his arm amputated since then. We're at the part of the story now when he's falling in love with sport again, from a young boy who played soccer, and now he's finding that he can continue when he's at a special school for people living with disabilities. He's able to play sport, and he finds himself to be quite good at basketball. And that's where we were. Lucas, you still with us?
Yes, I'm here, Fred.
Just out of curiosity, man. The gentleman who asked you to go down, did you ever see him after that day?
No, never. Because after that, umama uyachenja indawo, ahamba ayothenga another stand eNewcastle or Sizweni.
But I mean, immediately afterwards, that week, that month at hospital, did you ever see him after that? Did he ever, come? Did you ever have any?
No, he never came or something. No, I'm since today.
Till today. Gee whiz.
Yeah, but I heard that he passed away some other years back. I don't know.
What brings you to tennis? I mean, you're a basketball player, a former soccer player. You've got all these things that you want to do, wheelchair racing. When do you start playing tennis for the first time?
Okay, my first time was in 2005 when I was at Philadelphia Secondary School at Pretoria, Ncube. That's my first time when I picked up the tennis racket. And then I started to try it out. I didn't have much love of it. I was just trying, And then few months, and then they told me no, you've been selected to go to the national camp. I said, Mina, national camp for you, don't you? Because I didn't take it seriously. Yeah, I didn't take it seriously. Then I went to the camp, and then they taught me some stuff. Patrick Silebe. At that time, he was a development officer. And then they introduced me to the national coach, which was Paul Galosh. And then from there, from 2005, then I started to play the sport. And then I was more on basketball than I was more on wheelchair tennis.
2013, after you just started playing the sport, you're enjoying it now, you're focusing on it now. 2013 was the crowning moment for you.
Oh, the moment because the funny part of the story, 2012, I was representing South Africa for my Paralympics in London. I was with my coach, Paul Galosh. Then, 2013, okay, the guy who beat me in London, my Paralympics, who knocked me out, is the same guy I played in the finals at US Open.
Yep.
Which is David Wagner. Yes. And then I beat him twice. I beat him in the round robin, and then I beat him in the final, which was very special for me because at that time he was world number 1.
Wow. And this is a man that you'd go on to partner with in 2016.
Yes, because Wabon would, hey, look at the Fagindu.
And in 2016, with Wagner, you guys went on to be champions again.
Yes, 2016. Then I partnered with him again, Australian Open
for the doubles this time.
For the doubles this time, yeah. And then we won the doubles, and I lost in the finals for singles, which was also a good run for me at that time.
So when you look at it, I mean, I've spoken to, I don't know if you're Mazum Shengikwala out in KZN, who was a triathlete before he met that fateful day when his accident happened. And he says to me that he feels like had that accident never happened, he would have been an ordinary athlete. He's not sure if he would have made the heights of athleticism that he's reached now and won what he's won like he has now. He feels like, he was always meant to be a Paralympian. When you think about the accident and the incident and where you are now, do you think there's some divine calling in the middle of that?
I mean, I definitely agree with you. I always tell my kids that my accident was not just an accident; it was a blessing from God. Because if it didn't happen, I don't think I'll be where I am today. I don't think I'll be this person I am today. Without what happened. And ngisho njalo ngithi ngiyabonga enkosini ukuthi omunye umuntu bangabe embuka uye ebuke umuntu oyisibusiso kwabanye abantu. Yabo ngayibeka kanjalo. Ukuthi inkosi angeke isithume sonke ukuthi siyokwenza into efanayo because omunye umuntu bangabe ngibuka ngiyam inspire in some ways. Yabo because the way you push on a corner, you would chair with the one arm and a little bit of my thumb. Even like a traffic cop, man, I don't stop on the driving way. I'm going to think about keep a license and back on base. And then they're like, oh, okay, what's the
because you turn the wheelchair, you move the wheelchair with the same arm that you hit the ball with, that you're carrying the tennis racket with.
Yes.
How? I know it sounds like a silly question. Right? It sounds like a silly question, when Lucas, but it's how?
When I hold the racket with my left hand, right? The racket sits on the palm of the hand. Then I'm using my thumb to push the wheelchair.
Your thumb?
Are holding the racket. Yes, my thumb.
So you push your entire body weight with your thumb.
Yes, with my thumb and my stump, like a little bit of my elbow on the right hand because it's short, right? And then once the chair starts moving, then I use my hips to control it, to drive it to wherever I want to go.
Jeez. Yeah, I know. if you're listening to this and you're asking yourself, here's a man sharing a testimony of his life, and he's saying, if I came from where I came from, if I could rise from that incident and accident and be what I am today, I'm inspiring you and I'm asking you to look beyond what you think you can achieve, because you can achieve so much more. But Lucas, I look at this and I'm thinking, oh, such a heroic man, all he's done. Then I look at 2019 and the doping incident happens, and I'm like, what's happening? What happened here with Lucas?
Yabona lapho mfethu nami angazi what happened, because I missed three tests. I missed them, right? Not Gucci, I was tested and I was positive. No, I missed 3 tests in a row due to some family issues. And I provided all the documents, all the death certificates of my relatives who passed away in those months. But then still, I got banned for 2 years.
Tennis is what you make a living from. It's what you do. I mean, I know many people that saw you during that era between 2019 and 2022 saying you were not in a good space during that time.
Yes, most of the time I was indoors because I was angry at myself. But then being because at that time, imindeni eminingi laba abasondelene nami abanye babo bebedepende kimi, so bengekho ukuthi mhlambe bengabaleka kodwa ngenze njani. But then I got banned and then ngayihlalela nje relax.
Warelax ukuthi ungarelax.
I kancane. Yeah, bengarelaxile ngokomzimba but umqondo ubungarelaxanga ngoba iface bekunzima kakhulu. Angifuna ukuqamba manje.
How were you making a living at that time?
Mfethu bengu-taxi driver.
What do you mean?
Ngiyadlala.
Hey, cishe wangibamba lapho.
I'm sure that would. Umuntu uyashela kanjani icash shit.
Hayi bese ngisho ukuthi hayi no, ama-taxi ase-advanced.
No, because I have like a little bit of supermarket engayenza before, like during all those time when I was still competing, and then like with a little bit of a liquor shop, so I was just busy with it. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you've invested well with the money that you're making from the sport you're playing. Let's take a break. When we come back, I want to know from you, ubani uZanele Sithole? Hey, Lucas.
Yebo.
Uba uZanele Sithole.
uZanele Sithole. Usisi wami omdala.
What does she mean to you? How close are you guys?
We are very close because she's my older sister and mina ngiza emva kwakhe.
What do you remember, Lucas, about usisi wakho uZanele Sithole at the time when your incident and your accident had just happened? What do you remember about her during those days?
Fed. I remember when I was lying down in there, in between the railway line. I could hear her voice. She was crying and screaming to go through to come and see me because there were a lot of police at that time who were stopping people to come in. I could see her crying there. But at that point, mina bengingazwa buhlungu ngingezwa lutho because I think the wounds were still fresh. But nje yena bengimbona nje ekhala lapha ememeza and stuff.
She's got a message that she'd like to share with you. Please listen to this. This is Zanele Sithole, the older sister of Lucas.
Zanele Sithole Madlopha ngi-firstborn kumama bese kuba uLucas ukube amanye amantombazana awu2 emva kwakhe. So uLucas uzalwa uSibongile Langa umama wethu osikhulise kanzima kakhulu single parent umzali nje obezama ebamba amatoho ezindlini ukuze sikwazi ukuthi siphile sikwazi ukuthi sifunde. Ngebhadi ke kwathi lapho uLucas ethola khona ingozi isimo sashintsha kakhulu ekhaya njengabantwana bebekhuliswa umama yedwa. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi indlela umama ayeyiyo angeke ngikwazi ukuyichaza nobuhlungu ayebuzwa ngeke ngikwazi ukubuchaza ngaphandle kwethu ngoba imino bemdala lo omunye wayesemncane wayengakakwazi ukunderstand ukuthi kwenzakalani. So kwakunzima kakhulu kuleso sikhathi uLucas esibhedlela ahlala almost unyaka. Uthe mayebuya lapho ngosizo kulabantu ababesihambela wasithola isikole ebombe isizwe emadadeni waqeda emadadeni ukufunda wahamba wayofunda ePitoli. Nalapho ke akafike khona wakhombisa uthando. Sifise ngathi konke okuhle kungaqhubeka. Sifisa ama-sponsor onke ephinde meseke. Sonke isizwe simeseke njengoba besenza. Impilo vele inekhisi. Sibonga ukuthi ayiphathe kahle, alinde ukubuyela emsebenzini, azame ngawo wonke amandla ukuthi abuyele emsebenzini. Sibonge nabaphathi bakhe ukuthi azange bekhohlwe ukuthi konje sinomntwana owayenethalente elikanje. Ofisayo ukuthi ithalente lakhe aliqhubha lise phambili. Siyabonga nje kakhulu siwumndeni kaLucas siyabonga kakhulu.
Lucas, that's from your sister. She's so proud of you.
Yeah, ngiyayizwa voice yakhe.
She is so proud of you. She speaks so proudly of you, but she remembers those times of difficulty and says, you know, you inspire her indlela owenze ngayo nawe noma ukhuthazekile ngento oyenzile ngempilo yakho. Lucas, abaningi abahlelwe with half or even 2% into enzekele kuwena abafunanga ukuthi baqhubeke ngempilo zabo babeka konke phansi. Look at you. You've survived so much and you are still continuing. I know your mother. What would you like to say to your mother?
Ukuzwa nje usisi wami ekhuluma lamazwi onke akakhulumayo kungibuyisela inyembezi nosizi nje mfethu mangibheka isimo kade singakhona ngaphambilini mangibheka ngiqhathanisa nesamanje kunzima kakhulu.
Ufuna ukuthini kuma?
Kodwa ke akukho ukugive up ngoba since ngisemncane angaze ngivuma ukuhluleka. Ngiyitshele njalo ukuthi yonke into eyenzakalayo iyisifundo. Ayikho into eyenzeka for no reason. Yonke into eyenzeka for a reason. Ukuweke ezumuntu ukuthi leyo nto leyo uyithatha uyimise kanjani empilweni yakho. Because singabantu sihamba amajeni angafani.
I've got one very quick message for you that I need to play for you because you saying that Patrick Selep is one of the people that changed your life.
Yes.
He heard that we're talking to you and he asked us, said, please, let me say something. Have a listen.
Okay. Lucas, all I can say, my brother, I know you are a fighter, you are a strong man, and I'll ask you to hang in there and you know keep praying, my man, that we get back into playing the tournaments, which is something that you love most, and you don't just love it; it's something that you do very well in it. So hang in there, my man, and pray hard, and you know, begazela and ukuthi zonke izinto zenzeke, my man, and it's a privilege. It's a good honor for me to be with you here and your journey as well, being part of your journey. And I wish you all the best. So thanks a lot, Andile, for having the greatest man. Thank you.
Before I let you go and say my last words, here's one more that I want you to hear. somebody who's listening in right now, there's so many voice notes, but we've chosen this particular one because I think you need to hear this. Have a listen.
Hey Andile, ngilalele la indaba kaJobe. Ngilalele la neJobe. Hayi into engingayisho nje ngathi mina Jobe nekazi gabe Jojo umsongo insipha ayithwala ekhanda ethi amagwala azobaleka izitsha insini ezimnyama izitsha zobukhazikhazi mondisi hey ubakithi yazi uNkulunkulu kabe mhle nje abe mhle uNkulunkulu hayi bambe nje lapho Jobe bambe nje lapho bambe lapho
Awakho ogcina thini Jobe?
Yo, hey, nafethu, angazi ngizothini. Yazi into ngizothini engiyibongayo kubantu nje bonke abanginikeza support. Yazi even though during my band time, like mangabe ngiye mall, people they still call me a champion, which is lento leyo yanginikeza ugqozi like ihope yabo ukuthi hayi konke kuzolunga konke kuzobuyela esimeni.
Well,
Kodwa ke nje engingakusho nje ukuthi ngiyabonga kakhulu to everyone who supported me through my tough times, and manje I'm trying to get back to the sport. I'm trying to qualify for the Paralympics next year, which they're gonna be at France, Paris. So I'm on that mission at the moment, and I'm trying to raise some funds so that I can go and play some tournaments, so that I can earn a ranking, an international ranking. So ngisekuleyo mission nje okwamanje, but ngiyathemba ngamandla kaNkulunkulu konke kuzokwenzeka.
Oh, Jobe, listen. Thank you so much for telling your story. Brave story. We really appreciate you and we support you. We love you. We will forever support you, no matter what it is that you're going through. In France, when you are there next year, we'll give you a call. We'll call you. Thanks so much. We really do appreciate that conversation.